What is up, YouTube? Welcome back, Crumbs Reef. Kind of making an early week update, mainly because we have a couple of things going on in the next couple of days here, or actually coming up for the week. So I kind of want to focus a lot on what's about to come and what I'm really working towards. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and start talking about these tanks that I've been working on in the basement. So you can see the glass is pretty dirty, so is the sand bed, and that's mainly because I've done two huge improvements. Well, I would think they're improvements. I don't really know if they are, we'll see. But the first thing is I've stopped cleaning my sand bed and constantly sifting it, or not sifting it, but like moving it around, mainly because my hands are constantly in the tank, and that is the number one thing that I want to try to avoid, is spending a lot of time down here putting my hands in the tank. And then for the glass, I kind of just stopped, mainly because the scraper that I have, the glass scraper that I have, is not doing 100% of its job. It is doing, I would say, about 40% of its job. So kind of being able to clean this glass requires me to put my hands in the tank. And so I stopped, and I'll tell you why. Mainly because I'm going to be investing in a really high-end glass scraper, so I can eliminate the concept of being able to go in the tank constantly. And also C or B, I want to be able to kind of see what's going on with the tank. If I'm not able to clean it 100%, I would rather it just outgrow and let it look natural. But yeah, and I kind of want to now talk a little bit about nutrients, mainly because I ran into a problem. Not really a problem, but I caught it pretty early on. I put on the nitrates and phosphates on automatic dosers, mainly because I was constantly dosing manually, and the tank was pretty fine doing its thing. But the problem is I ran into was that I was starting to see more phosphates spike up than nitrates, but I had to turn them off. I spiked up all the way up to 0.2 for phosphates, and I think 20 for nitrates. So I figured I'd just take those offline. I did see a couple of corals not like it. A couple of these colonies that I have, especially this green acro and the alcorn and the orange digi. They're like my indicator corals. I can really tell what's going on with the tank with a glimpse of just how they are doing. The turnaround, it's been a couple of days since I've done that change. The turnaround has been absolutely amazing. They are looking 10 times better. I've turned them completely off, but recently I have turned them back on, and I put them at half a dosage. So instead of 40 for phosphates, I put them on at 20 mLs, and for nitrates, I put it at 10. I just tested, and I just adjusted once again, mainly because it started to go up a little bit more than what I needed to. So I took that 20 and I kind of did a guesstimate, and I put in 7 instead. And for nitrates, I'm keeping it as still as possible. I tested at 11, so I'm keeping 10 for now. A couple of things that I've changed, or not really changed, but cleaned, was my Chaeto. I cut it down to size. It was absolutely huge, took up the whole entire section of the refugium, and I also cleaned out my skimmer. Now the Chaeto, I think, did play a huge role with the increase of phosphates, because I think it just really grew to a point where it just stopped consuming phosphates and nitrates. And so I thought that my skimmer would be going hand in hand, and I think it did, mainly because it didn't spike up dramatically. So I'm not really upset about that. I'm just glad I caught it within the moment. Now I'm back to manually dosing, which is, or not manually dosing, my bad. Manually testing with my henna and my trident, comparing both values and adjusting based on that. And so far it's been working pretty good, but only time can tell. I would love to drift away from the henna and kind of just focus on the tridents, because they've been doing really good. I've been, going, working with them pretty well and trying to understand the whole concept, but of automatic testing. But you got to always keep an eye on that as well. Other than that, guys, these corals are doing really great. I did make a change as well. I moved the clown pair in this tank onto the 40-gallon softie, which I'm about to show you soon. Mainly because they originally hosted this frog spawn that I had on the right, but then the frog spawn kept on getting loose, and so I moved it to the left. The damsels have a territory over here. Their territory is right over here. And so they started picking at the clowns, and I didn't want to lose my clowns. They started stressing them out, and they started hosting my Gynepora. So I figured I'd just take them out. I was already planning on picking up a pair at Reefapoloza, so I figured I'd take them out and put them into the 40-gallon softie tank and kind of see how things go at Reefapoloza and see if maybe I could pick up a pair then. They would have to go through quarantine tank a couple of weeks, so I'm kind of also setting that up as well, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But really, other than that, guys, I'm just kind of closely monitoring the tank. My alkalinity did shoot up. I recently refilled both containers, and it slowly, like within the couple of days, I went from about 8.5 to 9. I shot up to 10, which is perfectly fine. I think corals are responding to it pretty good. I'm getting really nice coloration and growth. My pH is starting to decline. I was around 8.3, 8.2. Now I'm at steady 8.2. And at nighttime, I'm shooting down to 7.9. So my CO2 media needs to be changed. But yeah, other than that, the tank's been running pretty flawlessly. Feeding through the automatic dosers, or not dosers, the automatic feeder. And I kind of just want to, the only thing now that I'm really missing is a pair of clowns in this tank, and it's not that big of a deal. I'm kind of just bummed out that at any point something can go south. Not saying that south is bad, just saying that south is, it can lead to trouble. But other than that, guys, this tank, I'm pretty happy with. I'm fully confident that it's gonna take what I'm gonna throw at it when I go to Reefapoloza. I did send out an ICP test. I'm just kind of waiting on that still. I'm coming up to a week. I believe on Wednesday it's gonna be a week. So we'll see, fingers crossed. Hopefully I get the results in before then, but if not, my corals are telling me what I need to see and what I need to know. But I'm kind of just gonna move over to the 40-gallon softie tank here. And this tank's been doing absolutely amazing. I have been slowly acquiring softies from different hobbyists and from different locations around the Virginia area. And so I'm extremely happy with how this tank's turning out. The lights are doing its job. I did move the wave maker all the way to the corner, mainly because the sand bed was getting disrupted a lot. But with the move, it's been 10 times better. I did have an SPS right about there, but now it's covered with anemones, and I don't mind it. These softies are doing absolutely amazing. Fingers crossed, nothing happens to this tank. And the bounce mushroom and my mushroom garden here is doing really good. But the paraclowns in here are doing great. I have a blue damsel. I figured, this is like the cherry on top. I may add another fish in here when I go down to Reefapoloza. But other than that, I'm dosing about 5 mLs of Ultra Reef into this tank. I started out at a really low dosage, mainly because I wanted to see the effects of it. And it's a softie tank, so I'm not really looking to chase numbers. I don't test. I don't look at numbers here. I just go based on how the tank's doing. And whenever I do a water change for this tank, I kind of just do one for this one as well. But yeah, so a couple of things for this upcoming week. I'm hoping I can do another video before I leave to Reefapoloza, kind of showing you what I've prepared, what I'm bringing, the whole entire setup. Now it's about a 5-hour drive from Virginia, where I'm located, and I'm going down with up with a buddy of mine, and we're making a day trip basically. So a couple of things that I'm considering is, of course, traveling and preparing corals for traveling, being able to be there and spending time there. But the biggest thing is that I'm going to be looking forward to is I think I'm going to be picking up, when I'm there, I'm going to be picking up a frag rack that I'm going to be probably placing all the way in the back. I'm also going to be setting up my quarantine tank. I am not going to put copper in it initially, just mainly because I know there are high chances of me coming back from the show with fish and or stopping at a fish store. So I figured, might as well have something up and running before I leave. That way, in case something does happen, I have a backup. Usually I don't if I was throwing it into the 40-gallon, I would think twice about quarantining. But if it's going into this tank, I'm going to quarantine. Now, let me rephrase that. The clowns that I put in that tank, they originally were here. They got quarantined into this tank. The damsel that's in there is already pre-quarantined. So, obviously, it's always like playing with a rolling ball. And so, with these fish, I'm not taking, if I do buy any, I'm not taking any chance. I'm just going to quarantine them and kind of observe them before they go in here, because if they go in here and there are any other problems, I'm screwed. And so I want to eliminate that. But fingers crossed I get that the ICP test back and kind of see how things are with this water quality. But the next couple of days, I'm just going to be basically testing, and observing, making sure that all the corals are doing perfectly fine, fish are healthy, when I'm there, I'm also planning on picking up a scraper. I've kind of halted all my equipment purchases, all my purchases for this hobby, basically, until I go to the show, basically because I don't know what's going to be there. It's going to be my second time going, but the first time that I went was right after COVID, and things obviously have changed. This is 5-6 years ago. So I'm pretty excited, to say the least, and I'm excited to see the people there. I'm excited to see coral vendors, I just want to be prepared as much as possible in case something does, catch my eye. I think the idea of getting a frag rack all the way in the back is going to clear up a bunch of room, because both of these racks here are full. And if I do pick up a couple of things there, I can just put them on the frag rack back there. But yeah, guys, other than that, please let me know if you guys have any questions. If you're going to be going to Reefapoloza, let me know. I'd love to see any of you guys going. I'll be wearing a special shirt that was made from one of my buddies. I appreciate it. Extremely grateful, as always. If you see me, say hi. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I can try to make another video before I leave. That's my intent, is to try before I leave. Now I'm going for the Saturday show, and I'll be coming back that same night. But anyways, I'll catch you guys next time, and until then, take care. Peace.